Hey everyone, I'm the college football enthusiast on SG1 Sports Florida, and believe it or not, we're halfway through the college football season. Very excited to see how it finishes, and by now everyone has a pretty good idea of how their team is and what they are and aren't good at. So really looking forward to how these last 6 games pan out, because there's 12 games and we're halfway through, so that means there's 6 left. So very interested to see how these last games go. And because we're halfway through, today I'll be doing an overview on how the Gators season has gone thus far, and I'll be dividing it into our 3 units, which are offense, defense, and special teams. So let's get right into it and start off with offense. Offense, if we compare it to last year, I think basically it's the same team offensively, and it's interesting because it is, but it also isn't. And the reason I say it is because of the inconsistency. Last year, our offense was pretty inconsistent, and this year, guess what? We're pretty inconsistent as well. But last year, we kind of thrived off of explosive plays. We'd either bomb it down or do long runs or nothing. We couldn't complete the short stuff. And then this year's the opposite. I think we've done 1 or 2, maybe 3 deep throws all year, and we don't really use that. Coach Spurrier said that he wants to see more of that, so hopefully that influences Coach Napier, but more on that. We will see if that actually happens. But basically, this year we only really complete the short intermediate passes, those 5 to 10 yard passes, maybe 15 if we're feeling dangerous. And yeah, that's how our offense is, just little by little by little. But you would think if an offense runs that way, it would be more consistent, but we're not. We're still very inconsistent. Our only complete games have been against McNeese, where we won 49-7, and against Vanderbilt this past Saturday when we won 38-14. And against Tennessee, that is our best win, but we only showed up in the first half. The second half, I think we only did 1 field goal, and that is just inexcusable. We can't do that anymore. We gotta lock in and be consistent, because there's been times where we've looked terrible. Kentucky, Utah, even Charlotte, we didn't look that good. So that has been a big problem with the Gators, the consistency, and we have the pieces. Graham Mertz has been very consistent with his passing and completion percentage. I think he's right around the 80% mark. Etienne and Johnson have had their breakout moments. Etienne versus Tennessee, and then Johnson versus Vandy this past Saturday. And then our receiving core, Caleb Douglas just got hurt in the Kentucky game, which is unfortunate because he could have been a bigger deep threat if they would have done more deep balls to him. But we still have Ricky, who is Ricky Pearsall. Everyone knows, every Gator fan knows about him and how he's our best receiver. And then Eugene Wilson, who I always believe would be our future, but I didn't expect him to break out this quickly, and he is only going to get better, and he is a threat. So we have all those weapons, and you would ask, why are we so inconsistent? And it's because of 2 things. Our offensive line has been banged up and just inconsistent overall. And then our second thing is our play calling. The 25 screens to the left and the right aren't going to do it. We got to be more adventurous and go down the field. But for now, we can't hire an offensive coordinator midway through the year, so we're just going to have to deal with that and hope that the play calling gets a little better. Versus Vanderbilt, it did. It was better. It was better. So we'll see. We'll see on that. But my final letter grade verdict on the offense is, let's think, C-, because of the inconsistency, and I would say C is right in the middle, but we've been a little below average. So not way off below average, but below average. So I'm going to stick with a C- there, and that is our grade on the offense, C-. So moving on to the next one is defense. And compared to last year, our defense is leaps and bounds way better. If you just look at the yardage that we've allowed this year, it's been very good on passing. I think it's 166 on rushing. I don't have the number memorized because of the Kentucky game. I did before. It was right at the 80 mark, but after that Kentucky game, that skewed everything, and I think we allow like 120. But that's still pretty good compared to last year. Last year, we let teams just do whatever they wanted, and it was bad. It was terrible. It was terrible, and the most glaring problem that we had was our third down defense last year. I think we ranked maybe 129th. There's 133 teams, and we ranked 129th. And I think our opponent's third down conversion percentage against the defense was 50%, which is just inexcusable. And then this year, it is 26%. I would say it's around that mark, and that's like 25% is literally double of 50% last year. So we've done way better in that, and just our coverage has been very good, and almost everything with our tackling has been great. But the only problem, the reason why I'm gonna say B+ is because of first the Kentucky game. The Kentucky game moved every unit a letter down, and yeah, that was just horrendous effort on every facet of the game. That was just terrible. I don't want to talk about it. So the reason that moves them down, but also our pressure is just, I want more sacks, more turnovers. Those are game changers. Those really make a difference in the game. And against South Carolina, especially this Saturday, their offensive line is very weak. We need to at least have 4 sacks, and we need to create more turnovers. We only have 2 turnovers this season. And as we saw in the Tennessee game, when we pressured Milton, got that interception, brought it to like the 15-yard line, we were able to score like that. And we need more of that. So because of that, and because of the Kentucky game, I'm gonna say a B+. It's still been very good. Even in the Utah game where we lost by 2 scores, our defense was very good. So very proud of that unit. I definitely think we can improve. We have lots of young freshmen on that defense, so that brings me hope that even the freshmen are playing this good, and the interceptions and the sacks will come to them when they get more experience. So that's what I'm telling myself, and I believe we'll just continue to improve as a unit. So looking forward to how the defense goes from here on out. But on to the final unit, and this shouldn't take too long. Special teams. We replaced our kicker, and our kicking situation has been way better because of that. Our punter has found his groove, and he's back to being the great punter that we know. And then, those 2 things, very great. But the unit as a whole, B+. If it wasn't because of those 2, F. Our special teams, our kick returning and punt returning has been abysmal. And special teams is an important part of the game that can change games. Returning a kick, returning a punt, blocking a kick. We got to get better with that. We haven't done anything on special teams since 2020, and we really got to get on that. So, yep, there we go. Those are the letter grades for the 3 parts of our team: offense, defense, and special teams. Offense, like we said, is C-. Defense, B+, and special teams, D+. So if I can just average that out randomly, I would say we're at a C. That would be where I put it. As a team this year, we have been a C. We've been average. We've had our great moments and our not so great moments, and a C. A C is where we're at. We're 4-2 right now, and we got some tough games to go. So looking forward to see how this goes, and go Gators.